Hey guys, Dislin Magic here, and big warning. These spoilers are actually a leak. Like, this clearly was not orchestrated by Wizards. There's no way in hell that they would ruin the entire mystery of the story. I mean, this is like pictures of Emrakul being sucked into the moon or whatever the hell happened being leaked before Eldritch Moon even comes out. Like, this is that level of like storyline spoilers. So if you don't want to know anything until you read each individual chapter and have some suspense in between it and have fun with the storyline, if you don't want to know all the secrets behind the storyline, don't watch this video. So that said, Wizards, why did this happen this time? Because I honestly could care less about cards getting spoiled early. It's like, whatever, I'm going to find out about them eventually. I mean, if there's flavor text on the card that references the storyline and it kind of hints at a little something, that's not great. Like, if they accidentally leaked Visions of Emrakul early, that would be bad. But why the hell does somebody have in their hand, with a cell phone near it, the artwork book, the art book for Rivals of Ixalan? Why does somebody have that? Why did you send that to somebody? And honestly, let's talk about card leaks. Why the hell did you send those to people? Is it people leaking their promo early because they're an asshole? Is that what it is? Then stop sending out promos to unreliable people. I mean, you know that person's not getting another promo as long as they live if they leaked it. But the way I understand it, they send cards out early to perhaps members of the judge program so that they can ask questions about rules, and we're talking like tier 3, like level 3 judges, so that they can like form the rules, they can form the rulings, which is weird because that should be Wizards' job, but they're like making the judges do the job, but the judges are their own entity and they're not employed by Wizards, but they're literally being recruited to do work for Wizards, and they're being compensated with, ooh, how naughty, I get to see cards ahead of time, and then like half the time they just end up on the internet early anyway, because a lot of the judges, even the tier 3 ones, very much resent Wizards. So because Wizards is so tight-lipped about this, the only thing I know about most early leaks is that almost every single one of them was the judges. So without further information, without anything contradicting that, I have to assume that every single card leak ever was like a tier 2 or 3 judge. So there's a fun little fact for you. So this, I mean, why the hell would a judge have an artwork book? I mean, were these pictures taken at the printing facility? Maybe? Did somebody sneak one out? That's actually hard to stop. That's a hard thing to combat, because if somebody's motivated enough, they're going to do it. I mean, if somebody could sneak a cell phone into a prison, they could sneak an art book out of a damn graphics facility, you know what I mean? But I have a feeling that, it was just all wink and nod, here, take a look at this early, ha ha ha, tee hee hee, and they sent this to some douchebag over at some giant card seller or something. And then they're like, oh, thanks, Wizards, for the art book ahead of time. By the way, we lost $250,000 on Ixalan because it was garbage. Screw you, I'm going to upload these pictures to the internet. That's the scenario that I feel is a little bit more realistic than just solely judges. Plus, like I said, why the hell would a judge have an art book? Oh, and I doubt that this was a Wizards of the Coast staff, because the person put their hand in the damn photo. You could just go around the office looking at people's hands and find who it was. So anyway, enough CSI crap about the damn leak, although like that honestly is half the story. Let's just get into it. Let's look at some pictures here. Oh, look, it's some merfolk. I think that's... Oh, it literally says on top. Oh boy, guys, shocking revelation. Kumara's in the set. Just kidding, we already knew that. Next, we got that giant primal pterodactyl thing. We already saw the card. No big deal there. Let's see. After that, we've got, this is interesting, Primal Calamity. So this will be maybe the green primal, maybe the black one. Hard to see. So it's like a 3-headed T-Rex, which is freaking awesome. I mean, these primals, I think one of them's a little out of control power-wise, but they're kind of cool. I mean, you got to have the big beastly creatures. You can't just have the whole game be 4/4s, so whatever. So I do believe that this one was not leaked on a card yet, so here's, I don't know, another Primal Calamity. I mean, it's kind of like, okay, now we know about it, but we don't know what the card does, so it's not that big of a leak, but the rest of this is, hey, look, it's the idiot's hands. I hope they go around the next Pro Tour and just like check everybody's hands and like match them up like all Cinderella, glass slipper style. Plus, this person's clearly an idiot to put any part of their body in the damn photo. Like, they know what they're doing. This is some brand new kind of stupid right here. So I remember the Sunbird's Invocation or whatever. That card was totally awesome, by the way. A little bit hard to play due to its cost, but really damn good. Well, now apparently we have another one, and it's an owl. So you do not want a letter from Hogwarts from this guy. Holy crap. By the way, are owls technically birds? This is like the whole dolphin and fish thing. I'm not 100% sure you could call that a sunbird. I do know, even just from the wiki articles, which I think were written by people who wrote the lore, because none of it came from cards. So that was weird. But basically, it's part of the threefold sun. It's like Tilinali's thing. She's like one of the gods or spirits or whatever. And she created these like phoenixes, which are, also called sunbirds, and they do stuff. And I don't know, his idiot's hands covering most of this. The rest of the text just seems to imply that these guys are like solar powered. All right. Elendra's back, but we already knew that, and we already saw the card, so there she is. So that's Saint Elendra, the first vampire, by the way, which is like freaking awesome. Next up, we got a giant sea serpent, and I feel like this might be the blue primal dinosaur. Maybe it's something of the primal tide, perhaps. I'd like to solve the puzzle. But once again, we don't know what it does, but it seems to heavily imply that there are 5 colors of primal dinosaurs. So I can't wait to see what this does. Probably bounces a bunch of stuff back to hand, or -3 attack to all opponents or something. I don't know. So that's it for artwork. Let's get into some of the crazy, crazy spoilers. I mean, I was right, so it's not that much of a spoiler to me, but there is some interesting stuff in here. So let's just read this, which is next to, I guess, a picture of Azure. I mean, that looks like Sphinx wings, but they didn't actually include the actual image. Kind of weird, but it says, Azure and the Immortal Sun. Azure is the founder of Azorius, by the way. He's a Sphinx. He's, I don't know, I think he looks like Asperia. I don't know if I've ever really seen a picture of him, actually. Anyway, the history of the Immortal Sun is more complex than any of Ixalan's people know. The massive stone tablet, which I assume they mean is the Immortal Sun. So it's a stone tablet, we now know that, was created ages ago by an ancient Sphinx planeswalker named Azure. So there you go. Azure made the Guild Pact. The Guild Pact kept people from planeswalking in and out. And so he put his own personal symbol, not Azorius symbol, but the Azure symbol, which is like a precursor to it, I guess, on this tablet, and then gave it the same magic, because he knows how to cast that. So it says, on the plane of Ravnica, Azure is remembered as Supreme Judge Azure I, who established the rule of law to maintain peace and balance among the 10 guilds of the city plane, and who authorized the original document known as the Guild Pact. So he made this stone tablet, then he went and made the Guild Pact. They're very similar in power, same creator, everything. Everybody kind of knew this already. The Azorius Senate continues to perform the primary governmental functions on Ravnica to this day, creating and enforcing the laws that they believe will maintain peace, justice, and the status quo. Honestly, I would take about 3 of the guilds and just destroy them if that's what they wanted to do. But anyway, the memories and traditions they preserve about Azure himself are foggy and distorted. Even the fact that he is a Sphinx has been forgotten. That seems surprising, despite the continued importance of Sphinxes in the Azorius Guild. Yeah, like Asperia. Azure was a planeswalker, and his deeds across the multiverse include much more than just his work on Ravnica. Now, see, that's interesting. He did way more than that. I mean, they named the guild after him and stuff, but it says numerous ancient civilizations on many different planes have legends of a lawbringer figure, often winged and viewed as a god or semi-divine being, and those legends can often be traced back to Azure's influence. So Ravnica was just one of his projects. Apparently, Ixalan was another of them, which is very, very, very interesting. It says, and though his plane of origin is forgotten, the Sphinxes of many planes from Alara to Zendikar show signs of his possible influence in their demeanor and culture. So he has been around. Sphinxes apparently live for a very long time. Like him, most Sphinxes are known for their wisdom and knowledge while maintaining an aura of mystery and secrecy. Like visiting Ixalan, creating a giant stone tablet, and then not mentioning it. So then the subsection says Gift of Azure. So apparently the Immortal Sun is referred to as the Gift of Azure by this document. Probably not by anybody on Ixalan. Though the Immortal Sun does have powerful magical properties, and then in parentheses, intended to help its guardians keep it safe. So I guess if you hold it, you get, a bunch of power and benefits, probably the ability to summon the primals and, whatever else. Golems probably too. I mean, you've seen the card. It was leaked early by the Portuguese. Thanks, guys. So we know that if you're in control of it, like, that's mad power. Like, you get, like, 4 benefits from it. Anyway, Azure created the artifact by imbuing it with his own Planeswalker spark, trapping himself, as well as preventing other Planeswalkers from carrying knowledge of this plane back out into the multiverse. Holy crap, they just blew my mind like 6 times in, like, 1 sentence. So he used part of his Planeswalker spark, or all of it, to create the Immortal Sun. Okay, whatever this is, it makes a hell of a lot of sense why Nicol Bolas would want it. So it also says, okay, so he trapped himself there, either because now, okay, the magic won't let him planeswalk out, or he's no longer a planeswalker. And it says preventing other planeswalkers from carrying knowledge of this plane back out in the multiverse. Because if you think about it, it would be completely a break of logic if he created the Immortal Sun, which would not let anybody planeswalk out, in order to not let anybody steal the Immortal Sun and planeswalk out with it. That's completely circular logic. But there's something about this plane where he doesn't want even the knowledge that the plane exists leaking back out into the multiverse. So if you planeswalk here, you are trapped because nobody else can know about this plane or what is on it. So something way more important than the Immortal Sun is here, and I don't think it's just pet dinosaurs. I don't think Azure just wanted to prevent another Jurassic Park movie. Now, the merfolk claim that they were at least on the continent of Ixalan within the plane before any other races existed, or the other races were on other continents and it's before they invaded specifically the continent called Ixalan. So if the plane has some kind of secret, it probably has something to do with the merfolk, but that's a little bit of a stretch. It might be like something to undo the mending, like hidden on Ixalan. And the second that the Immortal Sun gets destroyed or stolen or disabled or whatever by Vraska, which is her mission from Nicol Bolas basically, then people will be able to planeswalk there and grab whatever they need or know about it or what. I mean, obviously Nicol Bolas knows about it, and then planeswalking out. So it might be a second part of his plan, some other rare artifact or some magical thing. I mean, he went to crappy space Egypt, Amonkhet, whatever, to get blue minerals and an army of undead. That we know. We also know that his end goal is almost definitely to undo the mending. So whatever he needs is on Ixalan, and I don't think that it logically is the Immortal Sun. It could actually be Azure himself, but then I don't know. That's an odd way to protect yourself on a plane. I don't know. Maybe Azure has knowledge of how to undo the mending. I mean, and he just wants to ask him some questions. So it does open up the door for Nicol Bolas to come directly to Ixalan when the Immortal Sun is turned off. So that'll be interesting. Next up, it says Induced Amnesia, which is, of course, one of the cards, I think, or whatever. It says, while the battle for control of the temple raged above, Jace and Vraska found their way into the chambers below the temple, so that must be inside Vraska. And we all knew, all four factions are going to battle. That's not really a spoiler. There they found the Immortal Sun and its mighty guardian, the Sphinx Azure. Okay, I should have read these ahead of time. So, yes, Azure is there guarding it himself personally. Holy crap. I guarantee when Jace walks in, he's going to be like, oh my god, it's Jace, the Guild Pact. Well, what the hell? Imagine meeting you here. I have no idea if he was on Ravnica at the time that the second Guild Pact was made, the Living Guild Pact. I assume it was him who did it. Maybe he had left Ravnica at that point. I don't know. The timing seems a little weird with that. Also, I didn't read any of the storylines. So it says, thousands of years ago, Azure created the Guild Pact, the magical law that bound the guilds of Ravnica into an uneasy accord. Jace had since become the Living Guild Pact. Yeah, I know that. And his encounter with Azure was the last jolt to his mind that brought all his memories flooding back. Well, that's not really what the last storyline said. He started to remember pretty much everything when they found Vraska, and he fell off a waterfall or cliff or something. So I guess it seems to imply that he only gets some of his memories back, and then when he sees Azure, he gets all of his memories back, which makes sense logically, I guess. Bit of a story crutch, but whatever. So it says Jace finally remembered who he was and how he had come to Ixalan. So apparently he doesn't know that either. Apparently it's a complete and utter misrepresentation to say that all of his memories are coming back at the end of Ixalan storyline. It says, as well as who Vraska was and the full implications of her mission. Odd that he would remember that since he doesn't know that information in the first place. He explained to Vraska the terrible evil that Nicol Bolas was capable of, painting a vivid picture of the ruin that would befall Ravnica under the dragon's reign. Okay, so does Nicol Bolas want to take over Ravnica? Is that what's going on? That's kind of interesting. I mean, that's not Dominaria where the mending took place. That's not Ixalan where Azure tried to hide stuff. It's just Ravnica. And I don't want to go back there for a third set. Anyway, goes on to say, just as bad when Vraska returned to Bolas, he would plunder her mind, seeing every shred of doubt and deceit in all of her interactions with Jace. Because remember, Nicol Bolas doesn't like Jace, for various reasons. For the safety of them both, she asked him to seal those memories away so Jace wouldn't see them. So Bolas wouldn't see them. Oh, that's interesting. So he reached into Vraska's mind and wiped all trace of himself from her memory. So that she can, steal the Immortal Sun and go back to Nicol Bolas? I have an idea. Don't do that. Tell Nicobolus to piss off and go hide somewhere. I mean, do you think he has interplanar locational abilities? Yeah, he probably does, but still. I don't think that, like, giving Nicobolus exactly what he wants, but then also, like, trying to give Vraska selective amnesia so that she doesn't remember seeing Jace at all. Like, I don't think that that's a very good strategy, because you're still letting her complete her mission and letting Nicobolus progress with his plan. That is incredibly stupid. But obviously I don't have all the information, so who knows? I'm sure it makes plenty of logical sense in context. Mega sarcasm intended. So next up, we got a little fragment here from Primal Storm. It starts with blah 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 sores. Apparently preserved for centuries inside the city. Okay, so that's what I thought. They basically wake up the primals. Compared to their smaller cousins, they have a lot less colorful plumage and more grayish scales. That makes sense, I guess. But their feathers are a bright gold that matches the city itself. They are strong-willed and ferocious and thus hard to control, but the power of the Immortal Sun gives the Sun Empire warriors who wield it the ability to bring these elder dinosaurs under their command. That's exactly what I thought. They would use the Immortal Sun to, like, mind control or tame all these super huge primal mega dinosaurs. So apparently in their hands, that's what it would do. So then in the merfolk's hands, it would do something else. And then in, the vampire's hands, it would almost definitely allow them to not need blood to sustain themselves as vampires, while also giving non-vampire members of their continent immortal life. That was already pretty clearly stated. And then who do we got left? The pirates? I don't know. A whole bunch of booty? Get them real jobs, maybe get them some gainful employment, maybe open a Walmart on their continent. I don't know. Maybe it'll cure scurvy. I really honestly cannot imagine what the pirates would do with it. But remember, the winner, the person, the one of the 4 tribes that finally takes over Orazca, they're the final owners who maintain it and gain power over the Immortal Sun if Vraska doesn't steal it and bring it to Bolus, or basically destroy it, or somehow disable its Planeswalker effect. Assuming none of those happen, or they can happen and still somebody can use it, one of the 4 tribes will take over, and we don't know yet because it's that GPS tracking thing where people vote with their miles and whatever. So the final winner of the owners and controllers of Vraska have not been determined yet. I'm sure they wrote 4 endings to the story, but it's determined by that geocaching event is what I'm saying, in case you missed that video. So what we do know, obviously, is that one of the 4 factions will win control of Vraska. It's just, will the Immortal Sun still be there? I'm going to say stolen or destroyed. I mean, otherwise, why would Nicobolus care? I mean, at the very least, it has to turn off its anti-planeswalking field, obviously. Oh, and this next one gets extra spicy. I haven't read this ahead of time, but I did just skim it a little bit, so this is interesting. I should really stop speculating and then correcting myself on the very next page. But we've got Mastermind's Acquisition. Now, no big surprise here. It says, according to plan, Vraska activated a special beacon, which is that interplanar magic spell that he taught her, Nicobolus taught her, that sent a signal through the Blind Eternities, which is the space between planes, to another of Bolus's agents, Tezzeret. I would have guessed, and I think I literally did, that Tezzeret was the one that she was signaling. Interplanar magic is kind of his thing, and also artifacts, so duh, I mean, no surprise there. So when she finds the Immortal Sun, she was supposed to use an interplanar magic spell that he taught her by force, like Matrix style, and Tezzeret will show up and do something. So it says, Tezzeret, who had battled the Planeswalkers of the Gatewatch on Kaladesh, I read none of that story, by the way. On Kaladesh, Tezzeret had worked to perfect magic technology that would allow the transportation of unliving matter from one plane to another. Hey, an undead army of skeletons wearing blue mineral armor. Though the Gatewatch's members believed they had destroyed that technology and defeated Tezzeret, because I believe they destroyed the planar bridge itself, the Planeswalker had in fact incorporated the core functionality of the planar bridge into his own partially artificial body. Ooh, so he can dial Stargate addresses by himself. If you didn't see that reference coming when you saw the artwork for the planar bridge, then I can't help you. Making Stargate references to interplanar travel with an artifact, it's mandatory. So I was going to say, oh, apparently he can walk in between planes, but he's a planeswalker. He can already do that. So I guess he can take a lot of unliving matter with him, which since the planeswalkers don't show up to the next plane naked, I assume they can take their clothes with them. So I assume every planeswalker knows how to take a limited amount of items with them. I mean, remember, planeswalkers have like, a sword, a staff, glasses, whatever. I guarantee I'm looking way too far into that. They just don't want naked planeswalkers. And guys, can we stop showing up to F&M with like borderline hentai sleeves, please? That would be great too. Get your stupid little play mats with the anime girls with their cha-chas out and put that away, save that for your own play group, and bring something more appropriate to F&M, you freaking perv. And your nude planeswalker altars. Anyway, so he incorporated the core technology of the planar bridge into his own partially artificial body. Then at Vraska's signal, he opened the portal and took the Immortal Sun away. Oh, so I guess they don't get to control the Immortal Sun. Suckers. They just get to control the garbage city that basically nobody can really find, I guess. So yeah, good luck giving people directions. You live in Alaska and you order something on eBay, that FedEx dude ain't gonna be able to find your place. I'm just throwing that out there. He'll be stuck out in the jungle and he'll just say screw it and he'll get returned sender. Okay, so it says her mission complete and the Immortal Sun's planar binding removed, because obviously it's no longer on the plane. Vraska planeswalked away to receive her reward from Nicol Bolas. So why did she let Tezzeret own the Immortal Sun when Jace knows damn well that that's part of Bolas and Tezzeret's plan? I don't think that's a good idea. I think they should have destroyed it or hid it or something. And then he just wiped her mind and said, oh, now any knowledge of me and working with me and doubts about Nicol Bolas, they've all been erased. Mission accomplished. Go get your reward. You get 1000 XP. Don't forget to level up. That is like, I mean, I know like Gideon doesn't know how to plan and Chandra's an idiot and Nissa's too busy being a lesbian to give a shit. But, like, Jace should be the part of the Gatewatch that knows how to plan ahead. He should know that giving Nicol Bolas the Immortal Sun is probably not a good idea, because that literally is his plan. Anyway, it says, Jace left soon after to rejoin the rest of the Gatewatch. That's interesting, because they all went to different locations. Liliana just bailed. She just went wherever. Probably, I don't know, she's originally from Dominaria, I think, and then she didn't really want to go back to Innistrad? I don't know. Chandra almost definitely went back to Kaladesh. Nissa almost definitely went back to wherever the hell she's from. I forgot, somewhere else. So I don't know how he would know to rejoin the Gatewatch. He had a little mental battle with Nicol Bolas, lost his memories, and accidentally planeswalked Ixalan. So he didn't have any time to telepathically say, oh, guys, we're losing. Let's meet up at blah location as soon as possible. So maybe he's just going to look for him. Maybe they put some kind of magical tracker so he knows what plane they're on. I thought maybe I referenced that in some old lore. I don't know. Maybe you guys could fill in the gaps. I have no idea. I think that is it. Oh, no, there's one more. Flood of recollection after the cataclysmic opening of the Golden City. I don't know what, I mean, it rose up and some waterfalls happened. I don't know if it's really cataclysmic. Jace awakened in a pool at the bottom of a waterfall. His head swam with snatches of memories pulled at random from his childhood on Vryn, his life on Ravnica, and his adventures across the multiverse. Before he could sort through these scraps of memory, though, he found himself surrounded by a group of vampires who spared him only because he assured them he could help them reach the temple at the pinnacle of the city. So there you go. He doesn't really regain all of his memories like they implied, and it's not just like, oh my god, I'm going to kill Vraska, like she implied in the last chapter. So yeah, he waits till he gets and sees, gets the temple, sees Azure, and then it's like, okay, memory's back. So, and that'll probably be in like the final chapter. So it says, vampires of the Legion of Dusk, Huatli and her Sun Empire compatriots, Angrath and his pirate crew, Vraska and Jace all made their way through the city. We all knew this, skirmishing with each other, overcoming obstacles put in the way by Kumena from his perch in the threefold temple. Wait, how'd he get through so quick? I mean, they can like travel on waves and crap, but geez. Eventually, Kumena was unseated. Haha, king of the hill going down, bitch. Take that, you militarized fish. I hate merfolk. And control of the temple's power shifted from one group to another. So obviously, who's going to get it? Who's going to get it? And it's determined by that stupid geocaching event. So whatever. Kind of implies that we're never coming back to the storyline because they can't really plan ahead for who the winner of the city is. And it doesn't matter because the Immortal Sun's getting kidnapped anyway. So yeah, what a dumb contest and a dumb choose your own adventure book. Pardon me if I'm not excited. I honestly hate all the factions. If I had to pick one, the pirates, I guess, maybe. I hate the merfolk. The vampires are a bunch of kooks. I hate the whole idea of a warrior poet, so it goes to the pirates, even though I really kind of hate them too. They get my vote. Hopefully, if you guys participate in the geocaching thing, you will like FedEx the thing to like Antarctica or something. Start racking up those pirate points, man. I'll try and participate too if it doesn't reveal my identity in any way. So I do believe that is all we have for the text in the leaked art book. It's really a shame that they had to leak it, but I mean, we've still kind of got like a lot of mysteries, but it's more like the long-term story mysteries. We already kind of know what's going to happen. We know who made the Immortal Sun. We know Azure is going to be there as a guardian. We had a lot of this, twist. Oh my God, it's Azure in person. Whoa, like not anymore. No more big reveal. So Wizards, maybe, just maybe give the least little bit of crap about securing this kind of information and these kind of printed goods instead of just sending them to everybody willy-nilly, which I have to assume is how this happened because you sure as hell won't comment on it. I mean, what's worse, you just admitting how it happened and saying it's never going to happen again, like the dude who stole the frickin' printed sheet from the facility and like, this is how it happened, we're going to prevent it. There, peace of mind, not Wizards' fault, much respect for taking care of it. Do that this time. In the absence of that, I have to go with you're a bunch of incompetent morons who recurringly leak paper printed goods. Oh my God. Get your crap together and stop this from happening. I don't want this to happen. I'm just covering it because it's already on the internet. If somebody leaks something directly to me and me personally only, I would never in a million years participate in this leak spoiler crap. I would just like sit on it and suppress it forever because I do not get behind this activity and this behavior at all. So do not see this video as me in any way supporting this individual's actions. Whoever this is a terrible person and they should feel ashamed of themselves for ruining the whole storyline for everybody. So that said, hope you enjoyed some of the mysteries unraveled and hopefully you can still enjoy the storyline. So thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next video.